Greetings, everyone. I just want to thank y'all for everything and thank y'all for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, y'all. And it is so important for us to protect our mental fortitude. We have to be mindful that we as people cannot allow our mental fortitude to be overridden by our emotions. When we operate with our emotions first, impulsive, without thought, without using our mental fortitude, we place ourselves in such critical situations that a lot of times you can't come back from. If we have allowed ourselves to get to that point, it is up to us to find the assistance. I say assistance because a lot of people look at the word help as a bad thing. Getting a little boost, you know what I mean? Just a little boost, you know? Find out where we are, you know? There's nothing wrong with counseling, y'all. There's nothing wrong with counseling at all. Counseling and therapy is therapeutic. It allows you to find out where you are in your life, right? Get rid of all the pain, heal from all the pain, and allow yourself to be heard. Because complaining about our situations has not gotten us anywhere. Matter of fact, thinking first with emotions and impulse has not gotten us any form of success, which is interesting, you know? So we can't be led by our feelings first. So we can't allow our feelings to lead us to success. Now, when it comes to logic, common sense, being locked in with your mental fortitude, right? You have to practice great situations. Like you have to practice great steps. I'm trying to find the word. You have to practice. I can't even think. It just slipped my mind. There are steps that we have to take so we allow ourselves to master certain situations. You can't just expect yourself to know it all because that's impossible. We have to learn how to become better as a student, right? So when we are going through our mental warfare, and we're allowing our impulse, our feelings, right, to take over and control us, you know, the enemy's already won. We have an option though, aka choice, that allows us to look at each and every situation that we deal with from a different perspective. And we have to ask ourselves what is right and what is wrong. What's going to get me in trouble and what is not? What's going to get me placed in jail and what is not? What is going to cost me my life because of unnecessary confrontation and what is not? Those are the types of things that I personally think about when I'm conducting myself outside. I made a lifetime goal, commitment for self, that I don't want to be a prisoner. I don't want to go to jail. And that has worked for me. Keeping myself out of jail, keeping myself out of prison. I had to. Even though we all make silly decisions, you know, we make bad decisions a lot of times, you know, and we have bad habits, and when we're practicing all of that with bad attitude, those things are a big giant recipe for disaster when you combine them all. Impulse, bad behavior, bad decision making, bad attitude. Now you have this big giant recipe of disaster that you got to deal with, right? Day in and day out. And it took me a second to lock back in, but I was thinking German. So we have to understand that we're not just dealing with the mental and the emotional. We also are dealing with something way deeper than the mental and the emotional. We're dealing with the spirit, soul, right? Deeper connection to what's around us. And that alignment is between good and evil, right? And we have to understand, what are we being led to do? Good by people or bad by people? Good to ourselves or bad to ourselves? A lot of things that we do can be looked at as self-inflicted, right? But a lot of us don't even know what right looks like, because generational curses have been a part of our lives. So a lot of things that we practice and still do to this day is because of generational curses. So a lot of people that are under these situations or circumstances believe that what is being done in their household day in and day out is okay. But is it really though? You know what I mean? Like, speaking on my behalf, I know that feelings were not really discussed. We weren't allowed to ask questions because it would come off as being disrespectful. It didn't make any sense, So I know that in my household, I had to break barriers. I had to break down all the negative things. Not sitting here saying that my parents didn't teach great values and morals. I'm not saying that. But there were certain things that did not line up for something beyond the growth, right? Like, you grow, but then you have beyond, right? Because we don't want to be complacent, and we don't want to sit in our discomfort. We want to be comfortable getting uncomfortable so we can reach our highest potential. Because that's what it's all about with mental fortitude. You know what I mean? Reaching our highest potential, not second guessing ourselves. Mental health awareness. You have to lock into your spiritual, get the healing that you need outside, right? For your inside, look inward to move forward, and understand that this warfare that we're dealing with is not just one individual. A lot of us deal with our mental health differently. Everybody has a different situation, but it doesn't mean that one person's situation is above all. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, we report to our Creator, right? But when it comes to healing, you know what I mean? We have to make a choice. And when we make that choice, we have to stand firm, fair, and consistent to that. And understand that not everybody thinks the way that we do. So stop trying to change everybody that's around you. You can't change anybody. The only person that we can change is ourselves. And that took a lot of growth to understand that. You see hope in a lot of people, but you can only pray for that person, literally pray that that person improves themselves, that they want to. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just got to plant a little seed. But, in the meantime, between time, focus on your inward, right? So you can move forward and be successful. And what I mean by successful is making sure that you're on point so that you don't drag this thing that is not good to the next generation, and allow yourself to be healed and get the help, the assistance to allow yourself to be healed. It's not easy, and it's not going to be an easy battle, but we have to face these things day in and day out. It's an everyday movement. Personally, I journal. That helps me out a lot. Making content like this helps me out a lot. The viewers, they watch the content and they enjoy it, for those people that love healing. You know what I mean? And some people, they may not like it. It's not for everyone. Healing is not for everyone. We can choose to heal ourselves, but healing is not for everyone. You know? Everybody doesn't want to heal. Some people want to hold on to pain, and they don't think anything is wrong. Personally, I had to change myself so I could be a better vessel, so I can help others around me, be a blessing onto them. Not forcing myself upon them, but just doing my best to be brave at being positive, and that's it. And that's all I can do. Please be kind to yourself. Reach out to someone during this Mental Health Awareness Month, and let them know that it's okay. It's okay to fix oneself internally. It's okay to go through your stinking thinking thoughts, but let's cut that off, right, and replace it with positive thoughts. Too much thoughts cause too much doubt. So this was never meant to store. It was meant to process onto paper. Trash the negative thoughts and put the positive thoughts on paper, and write down everything that you overcome, and not what you're going through, but what you overcome. This way, you are focusing on the good and not the bad, and you're not constantly reminded. Write out your plan. It's important so that you can see it. Let people see it. Put your name down on it. That way people can speak it over your life. But stop complaining. Everybody's going through something, and we have a choice that we have to make. Are we going to stay locked in, or are we going to lock ourselves out of our blessings? You know what I mean? And just be conscious and cautious with the words that come out of your mouth. Because a lot of times when we say things, we are casting spells into the atmosphere, into people, onto ourselves, onto our family members. Be mindful of these things. Y'all be blessed. Be brave at being positive, righteously, and respectfully, y'all. Enjoy.